Hey guys, Tarke here, and I wanted to do a follow-up video on the whole splinter discussion thing. Another big issue I have with the splinters, outside of just the excessive clicking, is how indistinguishable they are, and that seems like such a bizarre oversight in terms of their design. So, without me telling you, how many of you could accurately look at all these things in the window and tell me which applied to which one? Like, which grouping? Is this an order? Is this a sun? Is this a black scythe? What's what? I couldn't tell you just looking at the imagery. And the imagery doesn't really even make sense. And there's the fact that they're all color-coded exactly the same. They all have the exact same design. It's all very odd. So, these are circles, apparently. So, the lesser broken circle, I'm not sure what that shape's meant to be. Is it some kind of like pendant? But it's not really circular. It's covered in spikes, but okay. The common broken circle kind of looks like a crescent moon to me, but alright. The greater broken circle, again, isn't a circle. And the grand broken circle, again, kind of looks like a crescent moon. And they have blue runes in them. And, oh wait, everything has random blue runes in them. Okay, so fine. So next on we move to the black scythe. So the black scythe, the smallest black scythe, again, is some sort of like pendant or a brooch. The common black scythe is like a medallion or another brooch. The greater black scythe is a dagger. And the grand black scythe isn't a scythe. Next up, we have order. Order is apparently signified by a goblet, a chalice, a shield thing, and then whatever that shape is meant to be. I'm not sure what that shape is meant to be. It might be some very cool piece of like cartography equipment I'm not aware of, but I don't know what that is. And if you know what that is, please let me know, because that'd be interesting. And then we go to the sun. So if I was to say, imagine sun artifacts, you'd be like, okay, so we're thinking images of suns, right? So we have like a Templar looking cross thing. We have this weird swirly thing. We have a broken sword, and then we have a shield or like a dinner plate. Now, suns are round, so you could make the argument that maybe that is a sun artifact, although I feel like that would have made a better circle artifact, because it's, you know, a circle. Like, if you want us to care about these, right, and you want these to be in our inventory, then at a glance, I should be able to just look at something and it should make sense. Like, with no other League mechanic before, have I had a thing where I've had to really sit and think, but what does this actually mean? Like, if we go over to the stash, scarabs have this problem a little bit because there's just so many of them, but at least they're clearly identifiable by their tier. Breaches, very clear color systems. Fragments, very clear color systems. Going to metamorph, I can tell what a brain is because it looks like a brain. I can tell what an eye is because it looks like an eye. Like, it's intuitive. It makes sense. None of this makes sense to me. Another thing which confuses me about this is, so these are items that we physically have to pick up and we have to physically put them in our inventories, which I don't think they should be, but fine, let's say that is the case. Why are they 1 stacks, 2 stacks, and 4 stacks? They can't be 1 stack, 2 stacks, and 4 stacks for the sake of being able to tell them apart, because they already have multiple currencies from the same group, which are 1 slots. If you're fine with having 2 1-slot sun artifacts, then why can't we have 4 1-slot sun artifacts? If it would be confusing for them all to be 1 slots, why are 2 of them 1 slots? That doesn't make sense. If it's a case of, well, if there were 1 slots, you wouldn't be able to tell what the art is, I would say that doesn't really matter, because I can't tell you what the art is for the most part, because most of these are meaningless shapes. Like, I can say that looks like a dagger, and I can say that looks like a broken sword, but I'm not really getting any value from knowing that this is a broken sword, because I might be odd like that. I don't associate broken swords with the sun, in much the same way I don't associate daggers with scythes. Now, if these had the exact same art, but they were colored differently, that would be better. But I still think that'd be a bit of a fail in that sense. And this isn't meant to be an attack on anyone at GGG. This isn't me, like, bashing the artist, because as far as, like, technically, this is well-made art. It looks pretty. I like the way it looks. However, in terms of, like, making a video game, it doesn't feed any information in my direction. And the thing which is so bizarre about that is they did a really good job when it came to the reroll tokens. The reroll tokens are perfectly matched to each one. So Gwen is a gambler, so her reroll token is a set of dice. Why can all of her things be like dice themed? And then it'd be like, okay, cool, I understand. Dice-based things, those are for the gambler. Got it. Okay, the Haggler, he's all about currency. His reroll thing is a bunch of coins. If all of his things were coin-based, I could very quickly tell, okay, these are the coin-based ones. So you could have like a single bronze coin, silver coin, gold coin. That'd make sense. 1 coin, 2 coin, 3 coin. A coin purse. Makes sense. I get it. Okay, the dealer, his thing is chains for some reason. Maybe that's meant to be like jewelry. Okay, then you could do a bunch of things with using chains and whatever, and like, I get it. Scrap metal, sure. I get it. It makes sense. This guy's thing is skulls. I'm guessing the reason why it's skulls is because he's got skulls on his armor. It doesn't really make that much sense to me. Maybe we'll later find out with lore if he turns out to be a villain or something. But like, his whole thing is he's meant to be like the lore master. So for him, I would have used scrolls, or I would have used books, or like documentation. But yeah, it just seems very odd that they've purposely designed each individual NPC to have a lot of character, a lot of fun about them. They all have their own individual looks. They've got these items which are specific to all of them, and that design process only follows through to their reroll currency and not the artifacts they're meant to be picking up. And you could say, yes, but the reason why the artifacts all need to look the same is because they're all from the same culture. Right, but like, for example, all the imagery you might see in a medieval church would look very different to a medieval brothel or a medieval bathhouse. Like, you know, you could make it all look of a similar age, but have different imagery. You could at very least make the circles look like circles, the scythes look like scythes. I mean, I don't know what order. I don't know what order has to do with chalice. Maybe like the higher ups, rich nobles. And the sun could not be a sword. But anyway, I feel like I've explained my point. I'm just sort of rambling at this stage. Yeah, I think we definitely need to see some improvement with the splinters. But I want to say on a base level, the splinters don't function because they do not easily convey any form of anything to the player. It's just a mess. I'm Tarke. Have a good day. Bye-bye.